Hey y'all, and welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jen. We are so glad to be back home. We had such a blast on our cruise trip. We were fed and cared for and cleaned up after for 6 nights or 5 nights. So now it's time to get home and get back in the kitchen.
So we didn't have our fix fully of our seafood on vacation, so we're making a quick little meal here. So we have some basmati rice that's going into the, what is that, Instapot?
Yeah.
Yeah, Instapot. And now, what are you cooking up here?
So we still have all kinds of squash and zucchini coming in from the garden. So I'm just cutting it up. We're going to saute it in the pan. We're going to throw a tomato in and just have a yummy vegetable on the side that came straight from our garden.
Yeah, and so this is just her process of cooking it down, adding the squash, adding the tomatoes, and then she also adds an onion in with this, how do you say it?
Balsamic vinegar.
Thank you. This is how I'm preparing the seafood. We have a piece of salmon and a piece of cod that we had in the freezer for a while. So I'm just drizzled it with olive oil and added some of our blackening seasoning on it. We love blackened fish. It's probably our favorite way to have any kind of fresh fish. So I'm just getting that prepared here.
And if you haven't had our blackening season, it's so good. It's in our shop at stivershomestead.com, and it's so yummy.
So now we're getting ready to put this in the oven. We're putting it in at 350 for about 10 to 12 minutes. Just check it out. And then here is the squash cooking down. It was really yummy.
We also made the kids some spaghetti every night on the cruise. Almost every night they had spaghetti, and it was so good. And they weren't just quite ready to let go of that yet. So we made some homemade spaghetti, and they got their fix one last time of it. Obviously, we'll have it again in the future, but they just weren't ready to let it go yet.
And now I'm making a glaze for that fish. I love cooking Asian food, and so this is kind of my go-to Asian sauce. I start with a little olive oil, had some garlic, and then some ginger paste that we added in there. Cooked that till it was fragrant. Added a little bit of soy sauce. Added some Dill seasoning, some Worcestershire sauce, and then some brown sugar and some honey. So what we're doing is we're just kind of cooking that down and reducing it. The honey's coming here in just a second. Once you get that in, basically you're just waiting for that brown sugar to thicken up the sauce to your liking. So bring it to a boil, then bring it down to a simmer, keep it stirring, and then just kind of taste it to see if it's how you like it. And it's really good. I love it for anything Asian style.
It was also very hot.
Yeah,
You'll see it will burn my face off, but it was so yummy. So our rice is done. I forgot to say that we do add our Saison seasoning. That's our own that we sell in our store as well. It's so good. We can't have rice without it. So we always put that on it. That's why it's that color. Everything is about done. So we're just wrapping it up and going back to talking about the cruise for just a minute. The food was so good. And it was so wild just being pampered for that long of time. Like we didn't have to do laundry. We didn't have to make our beds, didn't have to clean up for ourselves. And there was always food. So with cruises, before we had worked really hard to try and shred a few pounds with working out and just getting healthy and fasting and stuff. Obviously, when you go on a cruise, there's always food available. So I think between the 8 of us, we all gained about 5 pounds each.
Yeah.
Luckily, though, as soon as we got home, that came off. Some of it water weight and just being down there in that heat and the salt intake and stuff like that is not the normal healthy food that we're used to, although it was good quality healthy food, just not the stuff that we necessarily use. So yeah, having to work that back off, just trying to get back into routine, eating healthy again, remembering not to just go to something that's fast and convenient and trying to stay on track.
Yeah, and so here's the final plating. We didn't need the spaghetti.
No,
Neither one
I
of us
didn't
actually
eat it.
but it looked really good, so I wanted to try it. Wow, I was very appreciative to have his spaghetti because that's what they had a lot on the cruise. And it was a really yummy meal. Oh, Jen just burned herself.
The emotions, though, of kind of coming off of that can be difficult, especially for the kids having to adjust. So, lots of hugs, lots of reassurance. We'll do it again. We had so much fun. And, you just kind of see that through the kids and kind of those cruise blues.
Now it's time to check on the farm. So we haven't been here in like 8 days. As you can tell, if you see the yard, we really had to mow down the jungle. So we got that done, got some of the basic stuff done, and now we're just doing our normal chores that we have, checking on everybody. As y'all can tell, Benny is getting so big. He's a big boy now, but he stays in the barn pretty much permanently. He's out there with Dolly and just having a good time being with the farm animals. We do still let him out at night just to watch for predators. Here's kind of a foreshadowing tale that I should have watched with all of our cows laying down. If you're any kind of old wise tale like we are, when they're laying, storms are coming. And boy, were they coming.
So you keep hearing us say back to the kitchen, back to the garden, back to the farm, back to the animals. Now it's back to work. So all of that stuff luckily happens right here at our home. We don't have to go anywhere else. We worked hard for that, but with all of that also comes the back to work. So that's what we're doing here.
Yeah, and so now calendula salve is back in stock. We have gotten caught up on all the orders that were pending and are back to our normal shipping, basically 1 to 2 days after you put your order in. So it's nice to be back in the store, getting all the products ready and getting them sent out to you all that are buying them from us. Thank you all. And so we posted this full clip yesterday on our previous video if you want to see the whole thing. But we had a tornado form right above our house right after we got done getting done with that calendula salve. It was insane, scary, and the wildest thing that we've ever been involved with. As you can see right now, it's forming above that tall tree and starting to move to the east. We were in the basement. The GoPro was out just getting this time lapse. We were safe, but that was a very scary moment.
You just saw Zach harvesting the garden. I'm not going to lie, being gone for that long, we were a little nervous that everything would be dead when we got back, but as you can see, it is not. So we are now putting all of the tomatoes out. Zach carried the tote. He said it was over a feed bag, so over 50 pounds of tomatoes. So many. Some didn't make it over here. Some still have to ripen on the windowsill, but my goodness, they are beautiful. What a beautiful shot.
And we also had more that are coming that you'll see here in the near future from the Airbnb garden that is still working out as well. The ones you see here, if it even slightly blushes, I pick them. And the reason for that is since we don't have much or anything that we spray, if we let them get all the way to ripe, there's usually going to be bugs that get in there. So we get them when they blush, we let them finish on the counter.
And we have peppers. Look at that. Hopefully there'll be so much more, but that's the start of our jalapenos and our bells. And these are our pole beans. So our bush beans are done, but we're able still to get so many green beans because of the pest pressure that Zach talked about. And now we're making jalapeno poppers for lunch. So another homegrown garden lunch. And it was so good.
And this is highly recommended to use gloves. We didn't have any at the time, but you can see me here. I'm getting the veins out and the seeds out. So it's not just the seeds. It's also that little white vein that's on the very back. That's going to have a lot of your heat in there. And when you eat jalapeno poppers, it's like Russian roulette. Some might be fine, some might burn you up. But just make sure if you are doing this barehanded to wash your hands really good and don't touch any sensitive spots.
Okay.
Is it hot?
It's hot. What do you think? It's a jalapeno.
Are you mad?
I think you're handling it well.
You are.
Yeah, I was just trying to water a little bit.
I'm gonna.
Eat the rest of it. I think you're good.
No,
Yeah, you're good. It's gonna be hot.
It's so hot. I'm gonna go 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Just eat the rest.
That was weak. That wasn't that hot.
You didn't get a seed.
It's not even hot.
You didn't get a seed.
Take a good bite. Oh, you got seeds flying everywhere.
Bite the whole thing.
It's not hot at all.
They thought, take a whole bite then. What was that?
Exactly. Thank you.
Get it off me. It's hot.
Hot?
And you didn't even get a full bite. I got a full bite.
Oh my gosh.
Do it.
No, that's enough.
So we had a great time on the cruise, and it was nice to be back though and get caught up on everything. So it was a really wild week that we had, especially with that tornado popping in. Thankfully, zero damage at all because it basically formed and went on past us. But it was nuts. The orders are taken care of. The store is back in stock with everything. The garden's been harvested. The animals are okay, and the jungle has been cut down. That was our yard.
Yes.
So it was wild. It's been a crazy week, but we were ready to get back into action.
As he said, we had such a good time and we made so many memories. It was really just an unforgettable week. So many core memories, so many new friends that we made. We expanded our group and had so much fun. It's just one of those trips that you'll never forget. And because we loved it so much, we're definitely going to be doing more in the future.
Yeah, and we took our moms, we took our best friends, Leslie and Kurt, and then like she said, we met some other ones, and we just made so many core memories. It's insane. Y'all are actually about to see those after this clip. You're going to see some of the photos that we took, just so we could share with you all and for something for us to look back on. But before we get into that, I did want to show you some of these pictures that we got because my mom actually gifted this to us. So on a cruise ship, if you've ever been one, there's a lot of photo ops, and there's a lot of times they get the cameras out and they're not really digital. So like these are photos that we only have here, and we loved that one. We thought we looked good. This was formal night at dinner. And then here's some with us with our kids, and then the official photo with all of us. You get that Bahama tan going on. Kids, and then us again. But we had a lot of fun, and a few things that we wanted to update you on before we jump into the pictures. The Airbnb is open, so we get a lot of questions on if we're still doing that. We absolutely are, and we do have a lot of slots still open for the beautiful time in Appalachia, the fall time. Yeah. There's no better beauty than being in the Appalachian Mountains and being autumn or fall. The colors are just vibrant and beautiful. So that'll be linked down below. Everything in the store is caught up and back in stock. You can find that at thestivershomestead.com. Along with our Airbnb, there is a tab that says Stay With Us to where you can get all the information there. And lastly, at the end of this month, the last weekend in August, we will be attending the Appalachian Fair.
For our third year.
For our third year in a row. We go every year, but it is expanding this year. So we're actually bringing some of our friends with us. Hidden Oaks Homestead, Anna from Fermented Homestead, and Leslie and Kurt and their daughter will be there as well.
Yeah.
So all that'll be linked down below. Most everything and always can be found at thestivershomestead.com. So just start memorizing our website, and that's where everything can be. But I'll also make sure that the Appalachian Fair is linked down below. Other than that, though, I hope you all enjoyed this video. It was a lot of stuff, from tornadoes to us traveling around the world to making a yummy dinner. So you really got a little bit of everything here. And if you're new around here, please hit that subscribe button for us.
All right, we love y'all.
Until the next one, bye.